हि भवति अस्ति किंचित् यत् ज्ञानस्य विषयो न भवति. There can never be an object of knowledge. There can never be a reality. There can never be a detail in the existence which cannot become an object of consciousness. Nahi jnanasya vishayo bhavati. It is not. It is not that something cannot become an object of consciousness, knowledge. You know, there is a difference between becoming an object of thought and an object of consciousness. You see, every form, sound, taste, touch, smell, they are objects of thought, we call them. But actually, fundamentally, they are all objects of consciousness. You know, we conceive consciousness by simply describing everything as an object of thought. Then you are aware of only object and thought. But actually the universe doesn't present itself as an object of thought. It presents itself as an object of consciousness. It is illumined by knowledge. If we say it is an object of thought, then what would thought be? Should be subject. If the universe were an object of thought, then what would thought be? The subject, but is thought subject? Thought also is an object. Therefore, there is a problem there. The problem is, it is better to describe everything as an object of consciousness, an object of awareness, an object of this object. And therefore, asti kinchit yad jnanasya vishayo na bhavati iti. Tasmat, therefore, vishaya svabhavaha eva anatma. This is what we were saying. Therefore, what we call the non-self, everything other than the self, is always vishaya svabhavaha eva. Anatma is always in the form of an object. Anatma is always in the form of an object of Atma. It cannot be. See, the Anatma has to be an object of Atma. But somehow we say Anatma is an object of thought. If Atma is the universe, is an object of thought, there is nothing wrong in that, but there is a necessity to understand correctly. We have to see the risk in that kind of description. So if we go on describing the universe as an object of thought, then you are aware of only the universe and the thought, but actually the truth is missed out. In all of the descriptions, the truth must be incorporated, please. It's always better to incorporate the truth in all our expressions, especially the expressions that we use, the terminology that we use at least in the literature that is meant to unfold the truth. The literature that is meant to unfold the truth must have, in every expression of that literature, the truth must be incorporated. Therefore, I always used to feel, why do we call the universe an object of thought? It is actually objectified by the truth. Why should we call it an object of thought? Thought doesn't objectify. Thought itself is objectified. Thought is objectified. But even if we really clarify the matter by just, elaborating what we said, the universe is an object of thought, whereas the truth is a subject of thought. Alright, then what is the description of thought? The universe is an object of thought. And the truth is the subject of thought. And the thought is left out in a limbo. What is its description? That is also, again you have to say, the truth is, even the thought is an object of the subject. Thought cannot be an object of another thought. Thought has to be an object of the subject, the truth. So in which case, the thought and the object. That is why, from the Vyavahara Drishti, the universe is an object of thought. This is called Vyavaharika expression. The Vyavaharika expression is that the universe is an object of thought. This is how one feels in the realm of ignorance. In the realm of ignorance, one says this is all an object of thought. This is an object of perception. This is an object of memory. This is an object of raga, likes and dislikes. Whereas I am there. I am also an object of my thought. This is all an object of my thought. Even my own existence is an object of my own thought because I also look at myself as wrong. Therefore, when I lose the thought, I lose the universe plus myself. What is this? Is it a part of teaching? Or is it what is universally felt? This is what is universally felt. This is an object of my thought. Even my existence is an object of my thought. If I think of heaven and hell, they are all there, objects of my thoughts. Minus the thought, there is no universe and no me. And thought is subject to dissolve. This is what is called Laukika. Laukika means this is Loka Vyavahara. As Bhagavan said, Anadiranta Naisargikoyam Loka Vyavahara. This is called Loka Vyavahara. What about the Shastra Vyavahara? Shastra Vyavahara is the method of this teaching. The way the Shastra teaches is called Shastra Vyavahara. We call it Samvyavahara. Shastra Vyavahara is called Samvyavahara. And what is the Loka Vyavahara? How man thinks universally, that is called Loka Vyavahara. Actually, Vyavahara, it connotes less the action, it connotes more the thinking. The word Vyavahara, even though for a layman connotes more of action, but for according to Shastra, Vyavahara connotes thinking. It also connotes thinking. This is an object of my thought. My existence also is an object of thought, my thought. And my whole samsara, whatever my faiths are an object of my thought. And when thought goes, no universe, no me, it is all shunyam. This is what is called the universal thinking. What does the scripture think? Samvyavahara. What does it say? Hey, this universe plus what you call the thought, the mind, is an object of consciousness. Drashta. It is Drishyam. Jagat is Drishyam. Sharira is Drishyam. Mind is Drishyam. Intellect is Drishyam. It is all illumined. What is not subject to objectification is the subject. What is choicelessly subject to objectification is object. In this manner, Tasmad Vishaya Swabhavaha Eva Anatma. I want to clinch this sentence. Anything other than the truth has to become an object of the truth. Simple. Anything other than the truth means what? That which is unlike the truth, a distortion about the truth. Something parallel to the truth can't exist to me. This is where you have to think tough. You have to think tough. Something parallel to truth is not possible. Something parallel to truth is not possible. Therefore, anything that looks parallel to you is an appearance within you. It appears within you, to you. But man always thinks it only appears to me, not within me. Man thinks this universe appears to me, but not within me. If it is to me, not within me, then the division. If it is to me and within me, then within me makes it the sense of division is gone. And therefore, Anatma is not parallel to Atma. Anatma is an appearance in Atma, a distortion about Atma. A Maya is Atma. It cannot be parallel to Atma. Therefore, Tasmat Vishaya Swabhavaha Eva Anatma. I have not explicit this sentence. Therefore, anything other than the self is always an appearance in the self. It is unlike the self, appearance in the self, objectified, illumined by the self. In Vyavahara, it is objectified. In Shastra Samvyavahara, it is illumined. Truth illumined. Everything gets illumined in the light of the truth. It gets illumined in the light of awareness. The universe gets illumined effortlessly. There is no effort on the part of the universe in getting illumined. There is no effort on the part of the awareness to get it illumined. It is such effortlessness is complete. Absolute serenity. The effortlessness that I am talking about is absolutely synonymous with absolute serenity. Like the water effortlessly supports the waves. कितनी वजन होगा for the water to bear the wave? But the water can carry the waves on its shoulders without any effort. Similarly, the truth can illumine the universe effortlessly. In fact, the truth carries the universe on its shoulder effortlessly. Does it become an emotional statement? Is it some kind of a study of the truth or a statement of fact? Statement of fact. It is not a statement of flattery. When we say God carries the universe on his shoulders effortlessly, it sounds as though you are being phonetically flattering Bhagavan. No, but Vedanta, when it says it is effortless, it is true, it's a statement of fact. Thus, Tasmat Vishaya Swabhavaha Eva Anatma. Therefore, anything other than the self has to be an object of the self. Anything other than the self has to get illumined by the self. Anything other than the self has to be an appearance in the self. Anything other than the self has to be unlike the self, appearance in the self, and ultimately not separate from the self. You travel from the error to the unfoldment. You travel from the distortion to the correction. Every anatma has to stand objectified by Atma. And actually it is an appearance in Atma and therefore not a self. But anyway, right now the topic is limited to only one thing, the contrast between the self and the non-self. Now, Yushmat Pratyaya Gocharascha Asau. Yushmat Pratyaya Gocharascha Asau. Asau is Anatma. Asau is Anatma. It is better to describe more as do than as this. Yushmat Pratyaya Gocharascha Asau. This Anatma, anything other than Atma, an object is it is always better to describe an object. It is always better to describe an object as thou, you, rather than this. Why? Because there is total contrast between aham and you. Aham and you. The table stands in front of me as you to me. If I talk about this to somebody, if I am talking about the table to somebody, then alone I use the word this. But I am not talking about the table to anybody, then it stands related to me, not as this, but you. Understand? You is a word that connotes, that expresses, that conveys an object that stands in contrast to oneself in perception. I am not talking about an object being described as this while I am talking about it to someone. Supposing I talk to you about this table, I say this table is like this, that table, this and that figure in conversations. This and that figure in conversations. But what is its position in my perception? The universe position, what is it? It is not a context of talking about the universe to anybody. How does it stand in your perception to you? It stands in perception to you as you. Yes. We appreciate it. Very many people just, it doesn't leave it. Many people just say, इसको थोड़ा बताओ, ये थोड़ा मुश्किल है, थोड़ा आसान वाला बताओ, जो मेरे को ऑलरेडी मालूम है. Then why don't you give me a list of all the things that you don't, so that it becomes easier for me to give a talk. I can go on it. The moment you see this, it is unfoldment, I am telling you. I sometimes sit down, I sit in my balcony, and how do I explain to the people this point? How do I convey this beautiful contrast between Atma and Anatma? And when Bhashyakara uses the word thou, it is a stroke of genius, I am telling you. Before Bhashyakara came, it is always, the universe is always looked upon as this, even till today it is always described as this, idam. But Bhashyakara refers to it as you, Yushmat Pratyaya Vishayaha. Why? It is a stroke of genius because this cannot. The word this can't convey the contrast between the object and I. In fact, an object never stands in front of you as this, please. An object stands in imperception. If you look at a mountain and there is nothing else, you and the mountain, and what is mountain to you? You are I to yourself. You are I. You look at yourself, me. And what is the mountain? You. If I talk about the mountain to somebody, then I say, sir, look at this mountain. I don't say, look at you, the mountain. I say, look at this mountain. Look at that mountain. This and that are pronouns figuring in conversation. But in perception, how does the universe stand? You. And the one who is aware of it is I. The dream? You. And the dreamer? I. The sansara? You. And yourself? I. Therefore, how many things are there? Atma and Anatma. Is not contrast complete? Contrast is complete. That is why we have a serious God. We have an expression in Hindi called Tutu. My. Is there a jalla called Ye, my? Ye, my. Yes, my mind won't satisfy. To my mind. Why? Because the contrast is complete. That is why here Bhagavan says, He Rama, Yushmat Pratyaya Gocharasya Asau. What is Yushmat Pratyaya Gochara? It is always standing as now in perception. And he explains, Twamiti Pratyaya Yushmat Pratyaya. The perception that to be an object of thought, thou. To be an object of this thought, you. To look at you is called Yushmat Pratyaya. The universe looks at you. It doesn't look this place, but it looks you. It is described as this. It is described to this, but it never presents itself this. No. Because if you can take a few more steps in this analysis, if it's not thirst for you, the universe doesn't exist in relation to the person to whom I am talking. It is related to me. It doesn't get related to him through me. His relationship with me, there it ends. Meaning what? Even he, when he stands, the whole universe stands related to him directly, not through me or through somebody. That means what? It never presents itself as this. It always presents. To me it stands as you. To you it stands as you. To him it stands as you. It doesn't stand in perception except as you. The description of the Anatma existence. The appearance of Anatma is always as you, unconditionally. You, its look as you is not relative. When I say this, it is relative. It's not a changing stance. This can stay, this can appear as that can appear as this, whereas you cannot appear as this. You always appear as you. Therefore, if the universe, the look of the universe as you doesn't change. When it is falsified, it is appreciated as not separate from the aham, that is a different matter. But as long as the anatma appears to atma, it always appears as you. Are you going to follow this? Swamiti pratyaha yushmat pratyaha atma hi sarvamapi anatmanam sarvamapi anatmanam svajnanena vishayikritya tvamevam vidaha iti jnatum shaknoti. Atma hi, atma indeed, the subject indeed, the self, sarvamapi anatmanam, the entire anatma, svajnanena, by its own light, the self by its own light, svajnanena. Atma hi sarvamapi anatmanam svajnanena svajnanena vishayikritya, having objectified. The subject by its own light having objectified the whole anatma, having illumined the whole anatma, vishayikritya, and it knows the object as tvamevam vidaha, you are like this. Tvamevam vidaha, you are like this. Iti jnatum, to know in this manner, shaknoti, it is capable. The self is capable of. The self can objectify the whole universe. The self can objectify the form, sound, taste, touch, smell, and know them. Not as this is like that or that is like that. It can know that you are like this, you are like this, you are like this. Therefore the Atma knows the object as you are like this, you are like this. This universe never presents itself to me as it never presents. I come to describe it as this, but it never presents itself as this. And when you have to describe the universe correctly, if you have to restate the nature of its position, if you have to describe the nature of the universe as it presents itself, can you describe it as this? No. You have to describe it as you. That is how it presents. That is how it presents. But even when you use the word this universe, but fundamentally it should be understood as you. Therefore, sarvam abhyatmanam svajnanena vishayikritya tvamevam vidaha iti jnatum shaknoti. Ataha, therefore, sarvopi anatma, the entire anatma, sarvopi anatma yushmat pratyay yogya, it is fit to be called only an object of new thought. Therefore the entire universe deserves to be described as the thou, you. Yushmat pratyay yogya iti. It deserves to be described as you. Why? Because it presents as you. Yushmat pratyaya gocharaha ityuchyate, because it deserves to be described as you. Therefore Bhashyakara says it is an object of you. Ityuchyate. Meaning what? It is simple meaning. Why do you describe the universe as an object, as you? Yushmat pratyaya gocharaha, Yushmat you pratyaya thought gocharaha an object. Why do you describe the universe as an object of you thought? Why do you describe it as you? And the answer is usually because that is how it is. That is how it presents birth. Therefore, the description of the universe as you is true to its nature, true to the way it presents itself to me. So there is no flaw, there is no discrepancy between how it looks and how it is described. There is no discrepancy. How it looks is thou, therefore it is also called thou, you. That is how the commentator has to say. This elucidator, the one who is commenting upon Bhashya, he is saying, Bhashyadara describes the universe as you because that is how it presents itself to the self. Does it not present itself as this? No. It always presents itself as you, because you can never feel this when you are only between you and the table. You can never say this. If the interaction is only between you and the table, then what is table for you? Only you. Not this. No. That's wrong. If this is understood, that means अंदर कुछ है. If it slips off your mind, then you have to go to the gym and gym the sluggishness out. You have to gym the mental sluggishness out. But you will have to understand this. The universe never presents as this. It presents as you. And therefore, Bhashyakara describes it as you. So there is no discrepancy. So comments the commentator. Swamevamْ vidaha iti jñātum shaknoti ataha sarvopi anātmā yushmat pratyaya yogyah iti yushmat pratyaya gocharaha ityuchyate na punaha anātmā sarvada tvaṅkāra viṣayaha eva san jñāne prasate iti kritva na punaha, but not anātmā, this universe, sarvada, hamesha, tvaṅkāra viṣayaha eva san. It is not that really, it is always looked at as you, it is understood as you, but in vyavahara it is always described also as this and that. Tvaṅkāra viṣayaha eva san jñāne prasate iti kritva. But here there is a small correction. Jnane prasate, indeed, the universe always presents to my perception as you, but in vyavahara it is referred to as this and that. ये बहुत जरूरी है इसको समझना. What this commentator is saying is, even though this is how we understand that the universe is thou, is you, it is not that it always presents itself as you. Indeed, it always presents itself as you. The other words come only in Vyavahara. This and that, I refer to the universe, this and that. I refer to the universe, this and that. I refer to the objects, this and that. Only when I talk about them to somebody. That's called Vyavahara. But in perception, always the universe presents itself as you. Thus there is a difference Not that sometimes it presents this way and sometimes it presents that way. That is wrong. It always presents as you, but in Vyavahara it is described as doesn't matter. भवति ही एक होता है प्रत्ययांतर गोचरोपि अनात्मा. Sometimes this anatma is referred to by means of some other pronouns. Like what? Bhavati pratyayantara gocharopi anatma. Yatha. Ime videha. This country called videha. Are these people, these objects of videha. Let me translate it as this country called videha. Iti adisthale, in instances like this. These objects, these trees, these rocks, these waters, these stars and these elements, these can be this and these can be referred to, and they can be used to refer to objects. That means we do use the word this and that. We do use the word this and that to refer to the object. That is a reference, not for such. When I use the word this and that, it is a part of my vyavahara with others. Pratyayantara gocharopi anatma yatha ime videha ityadi sthale. Listen to it very carefully. You must take it in your mind, this thing. Aticha, and sometimes further, also aticha, also. Ahankara pratyogi, totally in contrast to I. Pratyogi means total contrast. Between light and darkness, there is a pratiyogita. You know pratiyogita? Opposition. Pratiyogi. Even in your English there must be a word. Pratiyogi. Competition. Pratiyogita. Competition. Pratyogi. Pratyogi means a kind of a contrast. You know. Between light and darkness, there is a pratiyogita. This pratiyogita is a very beautiful, it gives you an insight. It helps you in understanding the truth. Light comes and replaces the darkness. There can never be mutual pratiyogita. Wherever there is pratiyogita, there is only a negated relation, not mutually negated. A mutually negated relationship is not possible because both cannot exist. There can be darkness without there being light, but the moment the light comes, the darkness is gone. So between light and darkness, the relationship is not one of mutually negatorship. It's not a mutual negated relationship. Between them, one is the negator, the other is the negator. If there is a mutual negation, there will be no negation. Light tries to come and negate darkness, and darkness tries to negate light. Then which will be negated? There will be no idea of negation. Therefore, it is not anyonya pratiyogita. You are wrong. Bhajyavadaka bhava is a very, very beautiful, enlightening term. Bhajyavadaka bhava means the false negator, negated, relationship. The light removes the darkness, but the darkness cannot come back and again and negate the light. When it comes to Raga Dvesha, they are not Bhadya Bhavana, negated light. Raga Dveshas are Dvandvas. We don't call, important for every Vedanta Vidyarthi to be clear about this terminology. The term for Raga Dveshas is Dvandva, not Bhadya Bhavana. Dvandva. Dvandva means, they are pairs of opposites. They are pairs of opposites. And these pairs of opposites, they go like a cycle. Now like, now dislike, now like, now dislike, now like, now dislike, now like, now dislike. This is what is called spectrum. If the light comes and removes darkness, they don't become a chakra. Self-knowledge and self-ignorance don't become a chakra. Now knowledge, now ignorance, now knowledge, now ignorance. Chakra. Now India means now Pakistan means, now India means now Pakistan means. That is what? Dvandva, chakra. Anyway, I have described something, try to follow. Understand what is Dvandva and what is Bhadya Bhavana. The moment you bring your attention to the subject, the object gets falsified. There is pratiyogita between subject and object. The object looks real as long as I don't give my attention to my existence as the subject of the universe. Before I use my attention to understand that I am the subject of the universe, subject of the three states, I only look at myself as a body. The subject idea is not understood. Even when a person uses the word I am the subject everywhere, it is aupacharika, it is ununderstood. It's not properly, correctly, fully, adequately seen that one's existence has no other identity other than being the subject of the three states, the experience of the three states. And before you bring your attention to that point, man always has that subordination, a form. And that becomes the base stand. I am the form. And keeping that stand intact, then you build a philosophy about yourself. You understand? You keep that as a basis, remaining without questioning the fundamental stand that I am the form, then you speculate your glory of that. Whereas Vedanta says, no, you have to first understand that your being synonymous with the form is wrong. You are not really the body, an object. You are the subject of the whole universe, including your body. You are not the body, but you are the subject of the body. You are not the mind, but you are the subject of the mind, the subject of the mind. You are not a given detail, but the subject of every detail, subject of the three states. And therefore, there is pratiyogita between the subject and the object. If there is a pratiyogita between the subject and the object, there is a bhadya. The idea that I am the object is corrected by the idea that I am the subject. If there is pratiyogita between the nature of the subject and the nature of the object. Then there is Pratyogita between the word aham and the word tvam. Pratyogita is not between the word aham and the word idam. Pratyogita is not between the word aham and the word idam. Pratyogita is between the word aham and the word tvam. Yes. Tvam. There lies the Pratyogita. Therefore here it says, Aticha ahankara pratyogi tvankaraha eva. It is tvam alone that stands opposed to aham. Na idankara, but not idam. This what I said. Only the word tvam stands opposed to the word aham. The total opposition is between the word I and the word you, because there is total opposition between the fact I and the fact the object. The fact of an Atma, the conscious fact between the conscious fact of Atma and the inert appearance called the object, between them there is total contrast. Between subject and object there is total contrast. And therefore the Pratyogita is not between aham and idam. The Pratyogita is between aham and I am telling you, if the vichara अच्छा पटरी पर लाना, पटरी विचार को अगर अच्छी तरह से पटरी, we have to bring it back onto the rails. Look at the universe and yourself as contrasting each other. Don't look at the universe as this. Don't live with the idea as that it is this. Look at the universe as you. There is a contrast. And seeing the contrast is called doing the viveka. Seeing the contrast is called doing the viveka. What else is doing the viveka? Atma anatma viveka. What does it mean? The universe is always in opposition to, it always stands in contrast to illumina. It stands illumined by the illumina. Okay, can you describe it as idam? Does it incorporate aham? No, idam doesn't incorporate aham, but you incorporate aham. Aham means it refers to. The moment you call it as you, it stands opposed to, it stands related to aham. Therefore, the more you look at the universe, how it exists, it stands only in contrast to the aham. Your attention comes back to aham. In the Pratyogita, the universe starts looking at appearance not only to you, it is also appearance within you, etc., etc. Anyway, that is all a part of teaching. But right now the topic is just to see that it is more correct to describe the universe as a tvam rather than idam. Why you can't describe it as idam? He gives a very beautiful Shruti Pramana. Bhavati na idankara ayam ahamasmi. See, ayam ahamasmi, this is me. Ayam ahamasmi, this is me. Ityadi, is prakar samanadhikarana prayogasyapi darshanat. We do see, this is me. That means we use the word this in the sense of I am so. is me. Sometimes we use this expression, this is me. That means the word this is also used as a synonym of I. It's called samanadhikaran. Samana is a kind of equation. This is me. That means the pronoun this is also used as synonymous with as meaning I. But sometimes figuratively you say, you are me, but literally you can never say you are me. Apart from that, there is another big problem. In one of the Mahavakyas, I am Atma Brahma. Do you know one of the Mahavakyas is? One Mahavakya is Aham Brahmasmi. That is Brahmasmi. And Prajnanam Brahma. And the fourth Mahavakya is I am Atma Brahma. This self is Brahma. That means self is referred to this. So sometimes the word this can be used for even the Atma. Therefore this is not a doubt-free pratyogi of Atma. It is not a doubt-free pratyogi of Atma. It can never be a adequate total pratyogi of Atma, because sometimes we use the word this me, this self is Brahma, I am Atma Brahma, this self is Brahma, this self is Brahma, but I cannot say you self is Brahma. And therefore, Adija Ankara Ayamahamasi ityadi samanadhikarana prayogasyadi darshanatu natu evam, but not evam in this manner. Tvam ahamiti, you are me. In this manner, nirupacharitam samanadhikaranyam bhavati. You cannot say and literally mean you are me. You are me. But I can say this is me. This body, this is me. I literally mean this is me. But I can't say you are me. When I say you are me, not literal but figurative. That is called upacharita. Anupacharita means literal. Upacharita means figurative. Up to my home, you can always say you are, I shall rest. Whenever it suits you, you can say, you are me. Whenever it doesn't suit you, you can say, you are you, I am. And that is called enlightenment. And therefore, this particular thing, Pratiyogita, is not between Atma and Idam, but it is between Atma and Vishnu. What elaboration he is doing. And therefore, nothing stands before you. There is no other conscious being that stands related to you. And the entire thing that stands in front of you, the entire creation that stands in your perception is lifeless, is inert. There is nothing else. It is all inert. That means you are all the time facing what? Inert. Even though we say I am with other people, etc., that is a bhranti, because another conscious being cannot stand in perception of yours. His form is a part of Anatma, your form is a part of Anatma, your thoughts are a part of Anatma, his thoughts also is a part of Anatma, but his being can never become an object of your perception. Therefore, you are alone or you are with many? You are alone. The truth alone is. And the rest is what? Inert. There is only one Chaitanya. You stand in contrast You stand there and the only universe stands related to you. Where is the other? Where is the other conscious being? And therefore the feeling that there are other conscious beings is a part of the part of something. That's when you see exactly the universe, what actually stands in relation to me. It is the inner universe that stands in perception of me when you understand this. The idea that I am with the many other conscious beings also gets corrected. There is no sangha between one Chetanam and another Chetanam really. This feeling that I am with many conscious, that is a part of non-thinking. Does not this analysis help in vichara? Does not this analysis which elbows idam out and brings in doubt, does it not help? Yes, I think it helps a lot. Because all that stands in relation to you is anatma and no other conscious beings. And if there has to be, we have to prove the other conscious being, then it has to stand, the conscious being must stand in relation to me. And if that being stands in relation to me, then what does it become? Anatma. It's not possible. It's not possible. The more you think really, it does not Bhranti pervade. I mean the understanding about the Bhranti as the Bhranti, does it not pervade? Yes. And therefore what Vedanta says is true really. What it says is true. But the Jiva may not find time and all that is necessary. Where does he have time? कहाँ होता है शक्तित्वम अस्तित्वम, कहाँ है अपरियुदस्तत्वम ठीक है जी, बट शक्तित्वम शक्तत्वम एंड अस्तित्वम कहाँ? स्टैमिना टू सिट एंड थिंक, the necessary qualification कहाँ है? One thing you remember, what Vedanta says is true. It is for the jiva to rise to the Krishna understanding. But what it says is true. Nadu eva mahamiti nirupacharitam samanadikaranyam bhavati. You can put a mark there. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Drishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.